All right, so you sent us this article called Welcome to the Connection Economy. And honestly,
Yeah.
just the title. I was like,
Yeah.
what is this about?
Yeah.
And it's from the Value First Agency blog. So
Okay, okay.
pretty interesting stuff. And
That's so.
it seems like it's really resonating with people because
Mm-hmm.
we've been getting a lot of requests to do a deep dive on this whole
I
like
know.
connection economy thing.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like it's 2025, everyone's talking about AI automation,
Right.
but this article is saying, no, 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 like good old-fashioned human connection.
Yeah,
That's what we need to be focusing on.
exactly.
It's kind of refreshing.
It is refreshing. It's like a
In a way.
back to basics kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Um, so let's break it down for everybody. Like, what does this connection economy actually mean?
Okay.
And how do we thrive in it?
Right.
Um, the article makes a pretty bold claim right off the bat. And it says that just simply working hard
Okay.
has its limits. It's connections, not just effort, that can really like catapult you forward.
I like that.
So what do you think about that?
Well, think about it like this. Like, imagine you're a musician.
Okay.
You can spend hours practicing in your garage.
Right.
And sure, you'll get better.
Yeah.
But if you want to really make it, you need to get out there, play gigs, connect with other musicians, build a fan base.
Right.
The article argues it's the same in any field.
Yeah.
Hard work is the foundation, but connections, those are the amplifiers.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
So the article goes on to highlight 3 meta skills that are essential for success in this connection economy.
Okay.
And they call them empathize and connect,
Right.
educate and build trust, and enable connections.
Yeah. Got it.
So let's unpack these, starting with empathize and connect.
Okay, so this is more than just networking.
Okay.
The article quotes Seth Godin here,
Oh, wow.
saying, "You will not be seen until you learn to see."
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's about really understanding your clients, your colleagues, even your competitors.
Yeah.
What are their needs? What are their aspirations?
Right.
And once you see them, you can build genuine relationships, not just transactional ones.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's where educate and build trust comes in,
That's
right?
great.
It's about sharing your knowledge in a way that positions you as a helpful guide,
Yeah.
not just someone who's like
Yeah.
pushing a product or service.
Exactly. You become that go-to person,
Right.
the trusted advisor. Think about it. If you're constantly bombarding people with sales pitches,
Right.
they're going to tune you out.
Yeah. They're going to be like, oh, get away from me.
But if you're offering valuable insight solving their problems,
Yeah.
they'll naturally start to see you as a resource.
Yes.
And
Right.
that's how you build trust, which is gold in this connection economy.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that a lot of people kind of
Yeah.
forget these days, is that it's not about the hard sell. It's about building that relationship first. But it's that third meta skill, enable connections,
Yeah.
that I think really gets to the heart
Yeah,
of this whole idea.
Yeah.
It's about actively facilitating connections between people who can benefit from each other.
Yeah. And the article emphasizes that these high-impact connections don't always require massive effort.
Right.
Sometimes a simple introduction can spark something incredible.
Oh, wow.
You're not necessarily doing the heavy lifting, but you're the catalyst.
Yeah.
Like just a 5-minute email connecting a talented designer with a business owner who desperately needs their skills.
Oh, yeah.
That's a game changer for both of them, and you made it happen.
That's huge.
Right.
Wow. So we've got these 3 meta skills for thriving in the connection economy.
Cool.
Empathizing, educating, and connecting.
Yes.
But how do we actually put them into practice?
Right.
Well, the article recommends a framework from a book called Oversubscribed by Daniel Priestley.
Okay.
It's called The 5 Ps of Becoming a Key Person of Influence.
Okay.
Have you heard of this before?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's incredibly relevant, like especially in the context of this connection economy we're talking about.
Yeah.
Each of the 5 Ps, pitch, publish, product profile, and partnership, builds on the others,
Okay.
creating this roadmap for leveraging the power of connections.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So let's break them down one by one.
Okay.
First up is pitch.
All right.
Now, I know you're thinking,
Yeah.
sales pitches.
Right.
But this is different.
Okay.
This is not about a hard sell.
Yeah.
This is about crafting a compelling value proposition.
I see.
So how do we do that?
Well, the key here is that your pitch in the connection economy isn't solely about what you do.
Right.
It's about the transformation you offer through your connections.
Interesting.
So instead of just listing your skills and services, you need to articulate how you connect people to opportunities and resources and each other,
Oh, okay.
and how that helps them achieve their goals.
So it's about highlighting your role as a connector
That's right.
and the value you bring to that network,
Yes,
not just your individual accomplishments.
exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So what's the next P in this framework?
That would be publish.
Okay,
And in a world overflowing with information, you need to consistently share valuable content
right.
to attract the right people to you
Yeah.
and demonstrate your expertise.
So, like, what are we talking about here?
This could be blog posts, articles, videos, social media updates, even a podcast like this one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Content is king, right?
It's about building your credibility, becoming a thought leader in your field.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of publishing is that your content keeps working for you even when you're not actively networking.
That's nice.
It's attracting new connections, sparking conversations, opening doors
That's great.
without you having to be in every room at once.
I love that passive approach.
Right.
Okay, so on to the third P, product.
Now, this one might seem a little counterintuitive at first.
Okay.
Because we're talking about connections, not selling things, right? But in the context of the 5 Ps, product is about packaging your knowledge and expertise in a way that provides value to your network.
So are we talking about things like online courses, workshops, memberships, even systems or tools that help people connect with each other?
You got it.
Okay.
Think about how you can create offerings that leverage your expertise and solve problems for your audience, but don't require your constant presence.
Right.
This allows you to scale your impact and generate income without being chained to the clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Now, this is where things get really interesting for me. The fourth P is profile.
Okay.
It's all about building your personal brand,
Yeah.
crafting your professional identity, and making yourself stand out
Yes.
in a crowded marketplace.
Think about it like this. You're building a mental shortcut in people's minds.
Okay.
What's the one thing they should instantly associate with you?
Yeah.
Your profile needs to reflect your unique perspective, your approach to solving problems, and the value you bring to your network. It's what makes you instantly recognizable and memorable.
I think that's so important, and especially in today's digital world.
Oh, absolutely.
Where everyone is just bombarded with information.
Yeah.
Having a strong, consistent profile is so important.
Yeah, it's more important than ever.
Okay, last but certainly not least, we have partnership.
Okay.
And this is where the power of connection
Yes.
really shines through.
Partnership is about strategically aligning with other individuals or businesses to expand your reach, create win-win scenarios, and offer even more value to your audience.
So are we talking about things like joint ventures, collaborations, cross-promotions, guest appearances?
All of that.
Basically anything that leverages the strength of multiple networks.
Precisely. But here's a crucial point the article emphasizes.
Okay.
Don't jump into partnerships prematurely.
Oh, interesting.
It's the last of the 5 Ps for a reason.
Okay.
You need a strong pitch valuable content, scalable offerings, and a distinct profile before seeking out collaborations.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right. It's like trying to build a house on sand.
Right?
It's just not going to be stable.
You need that foundation.
By focusing on the first 4 Ps, you're creating a strong base for those partnerships to flourish.
This is so insightful. It feels like a whole new way of thinking about success.
It is.
It's not just about individual effort anymore. It's about recognizing the power of connection and understanding how to leverage it strategically.
Yes.
But this shift to the connection economy has implications that go way beyond just individual success, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's changing the entire landscape of how business is done, how value is created, and even how we interact with each other on a societal level.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot to think about.
It is.
So we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back to dive deeper into this fascinating topic.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's like we're moving from this like me economy to a we economy.
Yeah.
The article really hammers home this contrast. You know, the old way of just like grinding it out solo versus this new emphasis on strategic connections and collaborations.
I'm curious though, do you think this shift to a we economy is inherently a good thing? I mean, it sounds great in theory, but could there be some downsides?
That's a great question. And honestly, there are some potential downsides to consider.
Okay.
For one, if connections become like the primary currency, It could really exacerbate existing inequalities.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, those who are already well connected will have a significant advantage,
Right.
while those who aren't might struggle to even get a foothold.
So it becomes even more important then to be intentional about who we connect with
Mm.
and how we use our influence, right?
Absolutely. It's not just about collecting connections, it's about building a diverse and equitable network
Right.
that benefits everyone involved.
That's like tending a garden.
Yes.
You need to cultivate the right conditions for all the plants to thrive.
Yeah.
And it's not just individuals who need to adapt to this new landscape, right?
Right.
Businesses need to rethink their entire approach as well.
For sure, in the connection economy, it's not enough to just have a great product or service.
Yeah.
You need to think about how you can facilitate connections and create value through those connections.
Okay.
It's about becoming a platform, a hub, a connector within your industry.
So instead of just broadcasting their message, businesses need to think about how they can foster genuine interactions
Yeah.
and build communities around their brand.
Exactly. Think about brands like Lego or GoPro.
Okay.
They don't just sell toys or cameras.
Right.
They create communities where people can share their creations, their adventures, their passions.
That's a good point.
That's powerful.
You know, as we're talking about this, I'm starting to see connections to some of the other deep dives we've done recently.
Yeah.
We did one on the rise of the creator economy
Mm-hmm.
and another on the importance of community building in the digital age.
Right.
It all seems to be converging.
That's what I find so fascinating about this whole concept. It's
Yeah.
not just a trend, it's a fundamental shift.
Yeah.
It's impacting every aspect of our lives.
So whether you're a freelancer, an entrepreneur, a corporate executive, or even just someone looking to navigate this new world, these principles apply.
Exactly. The article makes a really important point here. Anyone can be a connector.
Right.
It's not about your job title or your social status. It's about your mindset
Yeah.
and your willingness to embrace the power of connection.
It's about recognizing that everyone has something valuable to offer,
Yes.
and that by connecting with others, we can create something greater than the sum of our parts.
And that's where the 5 Ps framework can be so helpful.
Yeah.
It's not just about personal success. It's about creating a ripple effect of positive impact throughout your network.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the connection economy, I want to come back to you, the listener.
Yes.
Are you positioning yourself as a valuable connector in your field?
Are you actively developing those 3 meta skills we talked about?
Yeah. Are you thinking about how you can use the 5Ps framework
Right.
to amplify your impact?
Because as this article makes clear, the connection economy is here to stay.
It's not a fad. It's a fundamental shift in how value is created and exchanged.
Right.
And the real question is, are you going to be swept aside by this wave?
Or are you going to ride it to success?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
This has been a fantastic discussion.
Yeah, it has.
We've covered a lot of ground, from understanding the core principles of the connection economy to exploring its potential implications for individuals, businesses, and even society as a whole.
For sure.
But there's one thing that keeps nagging at me. The article did a fantastic job of laying out the framework for this new connection economy. But I'm left wondering about the practical side of things.
What do you mean?
Well, it talks a lot about the principles and the mindset, but it doesn't really delve into the specifics of how we actually build these connections.
Right.
What tools or platforms should we be using?
You've hit on a crucial point, and one that I think will be different for everyone listening.
Yeah.
There's no one-size-fits-all answer
Right.
when it comes to the mechanics of connection building.
Exactly. It's like saying build a house without specifying whether you need a hammer or a crane.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
The tools and platforms you use will depend on your field, your goals, and even your personality.
Right.
Someone who's comfortable on camera might thrive on YouTube or TikTok,
Yeah.
while someone else might prefer building relationships through in-person events or online forums.
And it's not just about choosing the right tools, but using them effectively.
For sure.
The article mentions the importance of understanding your audience and where they hang out online.
Absolutely. If you're trying to connect with CEOs, LinkedIn might be your best bet.
Yeah.
But if you're targeting a younger demographic, you might focus on Instagram or even gaming platforms.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's about being strategic, understanding the nuances of each platform, and tailoring your approach accordingly. And don't underestimate the power of good old-fashioned networking.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Conferences, workshops, meetups, industry events.
Yeah.
These can be incredibly valuable for building authentic connections.
Especially as we move past the limitations of the pandemic era.
Precisely. Sometimes there's simply no substitute for face-to-face interaction.
Yeah.
That human element can be so powerful for building trust and rapport.
I agree. So it sounds like the key takeaway here is that there's no magic formula.
Right.
It's about being adaptable, experimenting, and finding what works best for you, but always with that intentionality of building meaningful connections.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about how the connection economy impacts individuals and businesses, but what about its broader societal implications?
That's a fascinating question to ponder.
Yeah.
As we place more and more value on connections, do we run the risk of deepening existing inequalities? Or could this shift actually create new opportunities for collaboration and bridge divides?
It's a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is.
On the one hand, prioritizing connections could create a more inclusive and interconnected world.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it could exacerbate existing power dynamics if we're not careful.
It's a reminder that as we embrace this new landscape, we need to be mindful of the potential pitfalls.
Right.
We need to actively work to ensure that the connection economy benefits everyone, not just those who are already well connected.
And that's where the principles of empathy, education, and enablement become even more crucial.
Absolutely.
It's not just about building connections for personal gain,
Yeah.
but about using those connections to create a more equitable and thriving world.
Well said.
So as you navigate this new world of the connection economy, remember that it's not just about what you can get, but also about what you can give.
Yeah.
It's about building bridges, fostering collaboration, and using your connections to make a positive impact on the world around you.
I like that.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the connection economy.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and are feeling inspired to build meaningful connections that make a real difference. Until next time.